What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another segment of the It's Just Work podcast. Doing our college basketball picks. Week 7, we are back. How'd you do this past week, Steve?
So I think I went 4-2. I think the deciding game between us was we both lost one of the games, but the deciding game
Yeah,
between us was Bama and Arizona. I took Arizona, you took Bama. So great week for you. Not a bad week for me, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I went full. I took Zona. You took Bama.
Yep.
5-1 this past week. I think we're both tied
Oh,
now at
excuse me, sorry.
21 and 17. So, I mean, it's a pretty good sign for
Winning
us.
program.
Yeah,
Both
winning
winning
program.
programs,
Yeah,
but
and
yeah.
it's still early on. We're
Yeah.
getting used to it. But we're back with week 7. Pretty solid games this week. Let's get right into it. Let's go Louisville versus Tennessee. That's 7 p.m. on Tuesday at Tennessee. Who do you have there?
This one I'm going to be taking Tennessee on. Um, I think now Louisville they've played a road two road games and they Cincinnati, I honestly don't think is very good looking back on it. And Louisville played Arkansas and basically got smoked. I know they came back, but Tennessee, they've been, sliding a little bit recently versus some halfway decent teams. I think this is one where they're going to get this one. I just think Louisville on the road has not really impressed me at all. They're a team like Alabama. Now I think Alabama's a little bit more physical and has a little bit better athletes, so I think that defensively they're able to more compete on that side. But this is going to be a physical game. I just think Louisville's going to get worn down, and I think that it could get. I think this one could get ugly. So I'm going to go Tennessee.
I agree. I got Tennessee on this one too. The team that I was really high on coming into the year. Like you said, that physicality, that SEC just bias that they have. Louisville's kind of not like a flashy team, but they're want to get up and down. They want to shoot a lot of threes. They're not really getting it too much inside, so I think that's gonna be a huge factor of this game. And Nate Ahmed has been playing pretty well. Past
Jalen Carey for Tennessee too,
oh
very solid.
yeah
He's been
yeah.
awesome.
He's just another big body who's like
Huge,
he's
yeah.
going to the offensive glass. He's playing in low post, so I think they're
Right.
gonna win this game down low. Another game at home, so I'm gonna rock with them
Absolutely.
in this one. Moving forward, we have a pretty good game. Houston versus Arkansas, 5:30 on Saturday in New Jersey. Weird location. I don't know why they have a hit there.
I'm not sure
Um,
either, but yeah, I guess money talks, but I don't know.
yeah. So, what's your outlook on that one?
So I'm high on this Arkansas team, and I think Houston right now is not at where I think people think of them as a national championship team. However, I just think this is a bad matchup for Arkansas. I think in this, so the two teams they played at a slower pace this year was Michigan State and Duke. Both times I think they scored around 70 points, and all their wins versus Texas Tech versus Louisville, they were in the 80s, 90s. I just think the pace of play here, especially in a neutral court, I'm going to say Houston controls it a slower pace game. I don't think Arkansas wants to be in that slow of a game. They're going to be in the half court. I could see a lot of turnovers, a lot of issues, and I just think they're kind of due. Arkansas coming off a big win. Houston's kind of flying under the radar right now. I think they're due for a big time performance here, so I'm going to go Houston.
I agree. We're 2 for 2. Um, yeah, I think Houston's flying under the radar as well. We know what they're gonna get from the defensive end. They're gonna bring it every single time. I'm interested to see how this freshman backcourt of Acuff and Malik
Yeah,
Thomas and even Wagner. I mean, Wagner's an older player, but see how they do versus Houston pressure. Coming off of ball screens, and they play a lot of ball screens. Houston, for the most part, is blitzing that stuff, so it's gonna be really huge on Brazil. And these bigs kind of make plays off of that.
even like Nick Pringle, like I don't know that that's the position I want him to be in.
Right, exactly. So that's what Houston's defense kind of brings out of other teams. It's just beating them up in the half court. And then I do think this Houston team is very talented offensively as well. You have guys like Kingston Fleming, who's going to be a lottery pick, Miles Uzan, Tugler, who could be that low post presence. I'm pretty high on Houston just as a team in general. So I think we'll rock with them on this one as well. Moving on to another game Saturday, we got Purdue versus Auburn. This game is in Indianapolis. Um, Purdue come up with a pretty tough loss to Iowa State. Who you got in that one?
I just think here Purdue's not only the better team, they're in Indy. bad loss against Iowa State. They're going to be extremely motivated. I think Auburn's probably better than what I give them credit for. A good win at NC State, beat St. John's. They're definitely better than I thought, but their team, I just think, especially on the road for the most part, going against a Purdue team that's going to be hungry, I just don't like the spot at all for them. I'm going to go Purdue.
Okay, yeah. I'm also right with Purdue. Obviously coming off that tough loss, motivation's going to be there. They're an older, experienced team. They've been in a position where they've lost before, and they got to come back and kind of get it back the next game. Auburn, solid teams. Hot Pettifer is doing much better than he was starting out. Keyshawn Hall, I believe is his last
Yep.
name, been one of the more surprising players this year in the country,
Yep.
best players in the country. But you know, like you said, they're doing better than what we probably thought they were going to. But a Purdue team is championship level team. Experience is there. Basically a home game for them. So I think we'll rock with Purdue as well. Moving on to pretty high level game Saturday at 8 p.m. at MSG. You may be going to this one. Duke versus Texas Tech. Who do you have in that one?
So I'm going to go with a little surprise here. I'm going to go with Texas Tech. So I like Duke. I think they're a national championship contender. However, Texas Tech has two guys, Christian Anderson and JT Toppin. I don't think Duke matches up well at all with those guys. I think Big Pat, Malik Brown could be some deep trouble.
Hmm.
Christian Anderson, I don't think Caleb Foster and Caden Boozer, that's a good matchup for them either. So if their two best players have a pretty good advantage here, they're better than what their record is, much better. And I just think I think they're very good. I just think again, Duke is kind of due for a game like this where it's not there. I think Texas Tech is going to be extremely focused, locked in. I think you're going to get the best of Texas Tech here, and I think they're underrated. Honestly, they're underrated. I think some could even say Duke's a little underrated, given how they're undefeated and no one's really talking about them. It's the best team in the country, but I'm gonna go with Texas Tech here. I think they're probably a top 15 team in the country right now, at least, and I think Duke is a top five probably, but I just think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with Duke on this one. Um, I do think it's gonna be that tandem of Christian Anderson and JD Thomas are gonna be very tough for them to guard. What I do think they might do is put some length on Christian Anderson. Might put like a Dame Star on him, switch it up, put like Isaiah Evans on him, just to give him. He is a huge initiator in their offense. If you got
Yep,
him away, it's gonna be hard for them to kind of create offense in
I
terms of
agree.
movement and stuff like that. Obviously, Toppin's gonna get his touches down low, but in terms of like everyone else kind of getting their stuff going on, he's someone that they lean on towards. And Duke's probably is one of the best teams in the country defensively. Like
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
they switch a lot. I think it's gonna come down to that defensively. Offensively, what I think it's gonna come down to is if like we saw with Arizona a little bit. If Cam Boozer is not on his game, who we can get that offense from? Obviously, Isaiah Evans is great, but like who else are we gonna get that offense from? Is it gonna be a Caleb Foster? Is it gonna be a Dame Star? Is it gonna be a Big Pat? So that's a little bit of concern I have for them, but. When Cam Boozer's on, it's a tough team to beat. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
So, and he's
absolutely.
much more for everyone else. So, at MSG, Duke's already played in some big games with the lights on, stuff like that. So I think we'll rock with Duke on this one. Moving on to two teams who, this we probably thought this rankings would be a little bit higher
Absolutely.
early on the season, but this will be a huge game. Honestly, a huge game for both these teams. We have St. John's versus Kentucky, 12:30 on Saturday in Atlanta, so a neutral site game. Who do you have in this one?
Oh, this game is. I mean, this is huge. This
Yeah.
is like I don't think people understand. Like I know St. John's, like Patino, they were the 2 seed last year, and like he's done well there. But if Mark Pope loses this game, I mean, there's going to be some angry people in Kentucky.
Yeah.
St. John's loses this game, considering they're a Final Four contender. That's they've lost every big game for the most part. So
Mhm.
it's like I don't know. This game is going to come down to two things for me. How well can St. John's keep Kentucky's point guard, especially guards out of transition, and how well Kentucky can match up in the front court. I think this. I'm gonna regret. I already know I'm gonna regret this, but I think Kentucky here is gonna pull this out. I just think I liked what I saw versus Indiana. St. John's, I think they can turn it. I'm obviously a fan, but I think they can turn it around. But my unbiasedly, I just think Kentucky right now. I honestly think they could be getting Jaden back for this game.
Yeah.
Even not 100% sure, but at least they'll have Jalen Lowe back. I liked what I saw from Kentucky. They'll have a week to prepare. St. John's has got to play this Tuesday actually versus DePaul, so could be a little bit of a tactical advantage there too. But I'm gonna go with Kentucky here. I just think St. John's again. They're going even though Aberdeen and Jalen Lowe haven't been great this year. Those guys are much better than Dylan Darley. No offense, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it's like I don't know. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Kentucky here.
I agree. We're on the same page so far. I think Kentucky, they showed some life versus Indiana this past game. Obviously, stuff was going pretty poor for them. Wasn't no energy, wasn't that much effort. But from what I saw versus Indiana, like they were diving on the floor, they were getting the crowd involved, they were getting hyped up. So that's a great sign. Like they have the talent, it's there. If we'll take it away, if Aberdeen, if that backcourt and low even can kind of just create and get to the paint and score the ball at a high level, it's gonna be tough for St. John's to kind of stay in front of them. But I do think it's a tale of both ends. I think for the front court for St. John's, back court for Kentucky. But I just think for me, it's more of like I've seen Kentucky kind of go up a little bit more. So I think we'll rock with them on this one. This is gonna
And
be huge.
this pains like I am
Yeah, I picked this Duke before I was, and they won, so I was
pains me.
an idiot. But
But yeah,
okay, and for our last game, it's also in Atlanta. Don't have the time for this one now. We have UNC versus Ohio State. Ohio State, Bruce Thorne, one of the best players in the country, putting up crazy numbers.
so I don't know if you saw versus Illinois. I think he was 6 for 6 from three to
He
start.
was wild. He had like 25 in the first half.
I was like, I know he's always been a great player, but I'm like, Illinois is like my national championship pick. So it's
Yeah,
like he's smoking them.
yeah,
But
yeah. He's
yeah,
going crazy.
phenomenal player, awesome.
So who you
Uh,
got?
yeah, I say all that, and
Yeah,
UNC. I just think this one could get ugly. I
yeah.
think UNC's their front court is awesome. I just think that's a huge mismatch here. I like Dixon, who versus Kentucky, the lefty. He was pretty solid for them.
Hmm.
I just think this is a team. They're much better than I think I give them credit going into the year. They're definitely a top 20 team, I think.
Yeah.
And I just think Ohio State's not a tournament team. So I
Mhm.
just neutral court. Ohio State, I think they gave Illinois their best punch, to be honest, last game. I think I don't know. If Bruce Soren goes for 30 plus again, albeit to him. But if he's not
Mhm.
scoring 30 plus, I don't think they have a shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with UNC as well. That front court, Vesser and Caleb Wilson. Like Caleb Wilson has been just so impressive to me. Like his motor is crazy.
Vasar has to be one of the more underrated pickups in the transfer portal as well.
Easily, easily, easily.
Yeah, he's
And
awesome.
yeah, and their point guard's doing pretty well too. So they're a team that has been a little bit surprising, especially with Seth Trimble going down. A lot of people probably thought this ship was gonna take a little turn, but they've kind of kept it up. And yeah, I think we'll go with UNC on this one. So
Wow. So,
it was
how many
five,
games did we pick? Six.
6.
All right. So we went 5 of 6, and then that Texas Tech Duke game. So I'm most likely going to be going in that game. So let me tell you, I'm going to see if I could order a Texas Tech shirt. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe.
And someone's gonna be +1, before when we get to next week's episode. But yeah, another good week of games. Week 7. It's crazy how far we've gone along, with this
I
podcast
a,
season and everything.
a
So
little bit of a side note question here though is I felt like picking these games, like I definitely feel like my knowledge of these teams, like for example, Duke.
hmm
We've picked Duke 2 or 3 times now. I feel like in years past I've watched Duke, but up until this point, I haven't watched them 2 to 3 times where I've
hmm
extensively watched them. So I do feel like my knowledge of them is way better in the years past. And it's interesting how like my view on games is a lot different now because I'm
yeah.
so much more tapped in.
Yeah, bro, we're like low key like analysts now. Like we're trying to help the people out. You know, so I got people texting me
I
like,
know.
"Check, what are the picks this week?"
I
But
know.
no, it's great. It's great from just a basketball fan standpoint too. We get to watch so many games and give our input on it. But ah, sometimes people don't like our stuff. So if you have constructive criticism, just put it in the comments. All right, just put it in the
Especially
comments.
about UConn.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't like UConn, we've been hearing some stuff, calling us buffoons, calling us
I love
sorry
it.
and all that
I
stuff, and
love
it's
it though.
fine. We're not taking it any type of way.
Absolutely.
But just keep commenting, keep liking. We just appreciate the support. And yeah, we'll keep giving you guys content, man. So we appreciate it.